Agencyclick presents Everything Film with Film Robot, filmrobot.com, agencyclick.com. Joe Leary, along with Patrick Shelton, who is the founder of Agencyclick, broadcasting from Browns at the Queen Elizabeth Theatre Plaza on BNN Bloomberg Radio 1410 AM, 103.5 FM, HD3. Well, it's time to say hello to my longtime friend, champion of film, Mr. Jim Gordan, who, of course, has been in the industry for a long time. Movie critic for a number of years and accredited movie critic. And again, because everybody can be a critic, we all criticize film and television production.
Sure, yeah.
But not everybody's paid to do it. that's
right.
Kind of one of the perks of the job.
Becoming less and less paid to do it.
You know, I remember years ago, and I'm just going to pull a number out of my head here. I want to say it's like 1973. They shot a film called McCabe and Mrs. Miller in Vancouver, starring Warren Beatty. And the buzz around the town because, oh my God, a major celebrity is filming a movie in Vancouver. Now, granted, Vancouver didn't play Vancouver. I think Vancouver played Seattle or Portland or New York or whatever. But one doesn't realize that the film industry has been around and thriving a long time, but it's only gotten more and more vibrant.
I think you're right. I think of that movie. I think of Carnal Knowledge, which was shot here around the same time. Tons and tons of movies. Of course, the last 20 years, it's just exploded with TV and film and everything. But you're right. Rarely does Vancouver play Vancouver.
Well, I guess it's kind of a compliment to think that we're in the conversation, and that maybe one day there won't be that bias. I don't know if a major production has actually identified Vancouver, other than say things like Da Vinci's Inquest and Intelligence, which are very much based out of British Columbia. But it's funny because you can see Gotham City type events staged on Burrard Street, and of course it's playing New York City.
Yeah, that's right.
But it's amazing to think that so many people have made so much from an industry that I don't think it gets its due, and I think that's what we're trying to do with our show here, is to showcase that there's a lot going on in this town.
There is, and I'm excited and encouraged to see it slowly, safely, cautiously coming back. I ran into a producer friend on the street the other day that does a lot of movies, and he was saying the big challenge now is getting the quarantine factor worked out, that these actors can come up from L.A., and he's got a number of projects on the go, but he just said it's working out the quarantine thing. Can we afford to put them up for 2 weeks where they can't leave? Do the actors want to do that for 2 weeks? I mean, got to follow the rules. It's all for our benefit, but that's a challenge. But I think, I don't know. You and I have talked about this many times, Joe. I don't know where we'll be, say, 8 months from now, 6 months from now, but we certainly are one of the major stopping points for making film and TV in this world of ours.
Well, I guess, again, we're living in a new reality, and with each coming day and week, we learn to adapt to how it's going to be. And let's face it, this ain't going away anytime soon. It's going to be like this for a long time.
Yeah.
But production has to resume, and it has. I know that there's challenges filming love scenes.
Yeah.
Because you can't have two complete strangers making out that haven't been together, and then they have to be separated, and the cast has to, or the crew has to be, sort of secluded as well. So there are challenges. But anyway, let's talk about some films, because that's what you know best.
Yeah, I tell you what, it's I'm certainly not reviewing the amount of films I was doing for a number of decades, but what's interesting is that theaters have been just opening, again, slowly, cautiously, but it's the good part of it is that it's allowed for other venues and options in terms of watching movies, be it VOD or Netflix. There's a million of them. So I know this is a subject that you could talk about for many hours, and you and I certainly have over drinks. My first movie came out on September 1st, streaming. It's called Unfit: The Psychology of Donald Trump. Joe, comments at all?
What else do you have on the list?
Listen, well, we're not here to talk politics, but it's interesting because you don't really learn anything new in this film. But when you see it all compacted into about 90 minutes, you kind of go, yeah. And they've got a number of psychologists on, and the term malignant narcissist comes up a number of times. Interesting film, of course. The election is only about a month and a half away, but still an interesting documentary, as was the Netflix documentary on him.
But I'm curious to know, and again, I think there's Trump overkill.
Yes.
I mean, there's no shortage of Trumpness every day of our lives.
True.
But is that drawing people in, or is that turning people off? Like, do you know if these types of shows are they ratings winners? Are they gold, or are they just saying, again?
I think he's very, it's obvious to say, but he's very polarizing.
Yeah.
You see a documentary like this, his base are going to say, oh, it's more of that garbage fake news.
Sure.
People that aren't in his camp are going to say, more proof.
Yeah.
But it is just remarkable to see this documentary. As I said, you're seeing everything you've seen every day on cable news.
And
but,
this is called
Unfit: The Psychology of Donald Trump.
Okay, all right. Moving right along.
Moving along to something more exciting. Joe, I would say this is probably, arguably, in my history of watching TV, the best police procedural drama I have ever seen.
Okay, do tell.
It is out of London, BBC production called Line of Duty. I am coming to this late. My buddy Neil, who is over at the bar throwing back drinks, was bugging me for months to watch it because he had watched it earlier on BBC. And I said, yeah, I'll get to it. This is the 5 seasons I've seen so far. And like most British programming, and you're seeing more of that here, each season's like 4 episodes, 5 episodes. You can really binge on this over the weekend. But this is the story of AC-12, which is a police anti-corruption unit, or their version of internal affairs. This series, Line of Duty, just grabs you from the moment it starts. Try to adapt to the accents. They can be a little difficult at times, but
I was going to say, Jim, you know I'm a longtime fan of Coronation Street, and I watch with captioning on because there's so many distinctly different accents in that show that I can't get what they've said, rather than keep rewinding and repeating. But this is what was only my concern when you said that, because it being a British drama. If you can't understand some of the dialogue, at least you can caption.
Oh yeah. It's by a guy
Line
named
of Duty.
Line of Duty. It's by a guy named Jed Mercurio, who also did a great series in between seasons of the show called The Bodyguard, which was an Emmy winner for Best Actor a few years back. So Line of Duty, 5 seasons on Netflix. Okay. It's also on acorn.tv. Again, if you love British programming, acorn.tv, and also BritBox.
Is it hard hitting? Is it graphic?
Hard hitting. It's nothing against the Dick Wolf franchises, Law and Order, and everything like that. This just is. It's stressful watching, and I mean that in a good way. But it's 5 seasons. I did not put it down.
Okay.
Over a weekend. Line of Duty available now.
Take that under advisement.
Joe, you've been in radio a long time. This is now available on VOD. I'd forgotten how popular and huge of a star this woman was. New movie out called I Am Woman. New bio on Helen Reddy.
Helen Reddy, I was going to say.
You would have been playing her stuff, right, back in the day when you first
started?
I Am
Woman, Hear Me Roar.
Yeah.
It was too hard to ignore. Yeah, I was not a big Helen Reddy fan. Wasn't at Camp Reddy.
Yeah.
But she rocketed up the charts.
I'm thinking I Am Woman, which of course went on to become the ERA national anthem. But also, as the movie was continuing, I forgot about all the great hits she had. Yeah. Angie Baby, Delta Dawn. Anyway, it's a great story about her. As I said, I was a kid when she was at her peak. I'd forgotten how well known and loved she was, but it's a great story. Another Australian movie. The Aussies are really making good films. Available on VOD, starring Tilda Cobham Hervey, a newcomer from, I guess, to our shores. But anyway, we're seeing I Am Woman available on VOD. So many great movies, Joe, as I said, that aren't in theaters.
Now, I'm curious because why do we need the Helen Reddy story? Like, is there a story there?
There is a good story. She's got a good story. It's the unknown becoming the star. Yeah. I don't know how many times you can see this. It was in the Judy Garland movie with Renee Zellweger a couple years ago. Just the woman putting all her financial trust and faith in the husband, who helps her a bit, but then...
And all of a sudden leaves town.
And it's all gone.
The money's all gone.
She suffered major financial setbacks in the mid-'80s, but it's a great story. As I said, I was never a huge fan either, but just sitting watching going, God, I remember how big she was. She had her own variety show.
But you know what's funny, James, is that I remember a day early on in my disc jockey career when we were playing a song called Black Betty by Ram Jam, and the next song on the charts was I Am Woman by Helen Reddy. That's how diverse radio was back at that time. So for this middle-aged woman, or I guess back in the day, she's probably like a 30-something woman,
early 30s,
to be up there on the rock and roll charts, and she was not a rock and roll
by no means
woman at all.
No,
but she held her own.
It's funny because it's become a cliche, but you see these in all these biographies where some musical idiot will say, "There's just no room for your type of music, Helen. I'm sorry. It's Zeppelin. It's that kind of thing." And there she is. She's right there at the beginning of that valley with that California folk, Eagles, Joni Mitchell, that stuff. So that helped a lot. But
it's funny because I heard just today. I did not know this prior. Lorne Michaels turned down Jim Carrey for SNL.
Wow.
Lorne Michaels took a pass on Jim Carrey.
Yep.
And yet I think he signed Jimmy Fallon instead to the cast. Now, you could argue, but look at the star value of a Jim Carrey today. What didn't Lorne Michaels see? He's discovered some,
Good point, because he ended up on Living Color.
He did, yes.
I've always been hit and miss with him. I've always liked him if you're a director, you can put handcuffs on him and reel him in. He's a very good actor, but he is a little too Jerry Lewis for me.
Well, you and I are in sync on that. But all I'm saying is that if he's in the room and there's other people there, and they're laughing at Jim Carrey, I might be the odd man out going, well, okay, you guys think he's funny? I don't. But I just thought, that every once in a while, you sort of take a miss on something that you look back in retrospect and think, what was I thinking?
I think that was like the example you used of that guy who probably died very angry and sad that said, the Beatles? No, we don't have time.
Guitar bands are on their way out.
All the way to the top. Anyway, buddy, that's about it for movies.
Right.
As I said, look, there's so much great stuff. I really am enjoying this Acorn TV and BritBox, which are, if you're a Brit fan, I know we have a lot of British fans of British programming out there, and you're one of them, as am I. These are great, paid, about $8-10 a month, but worth checking out.
Well, I'm certainly going to check out Line of Duty because, again, I'm into gritty reality type of, hard-hitting crime dramas. And again, because it's British, I'm going to guess that the language might be a little not family-friendly.
It's amazing. Like, I give great credit to what Dick Wolf has done with his Law & Order series over the year, and they're hard-hitting, especially the one with Marika, what's her name?
Marissa Hargitay.
Hargitay, yeah.
Yes.
But yeah, this is just another level. As I said, it's stressful watching it, but that's a good kind of stressful. So,
Jim Gordan, always a pleasure, sir.
Thank you.
We look forward to your input on future shows as Agencyclick presents Everything Film with Film Robot, filmrobot.com. You got it on BNN Bloomberg Radio 1410 AM, 103.5 FM, HD3.